All right, just as a quick follow-up, all was not lost, but my gosh, is it a pain in the butt. So I guess this follow-up video, the first one's going to be a video about should you do it, make sure which type you have. This is going to be a quick little follow-up video on how it ended up for me. So all was not lost. Once I took a step back, stopped freaking out and being annoyed that I was hacking up my box, I was able to get the old one out. I will show you that real quick like. So old one's out and in the trash. Here's the biggest thing with these too. They have these studs, right? I tried knocking it out, but it wouldn't go past the evaporator to actually get out, so it's installed from the factory. The new one that you buy, flashlight. New one that you buy actually comes with the plugs, and it's threaded, so you actually cannot even put those stud inserts into it without cutting it out and complicating things. Plus, I don't even know if you could have, I don't know if I would have been able to squeeze it because of how long the stud was to even get it back in. Lucky for me, I happen to have, which I guess I'll tell you right now. So, you know, they send it vacuum shipped, you know, shipped up nice and tight, whatever. I also did the orifice tube. I had done the over 106 degree orifice tube, but it's not consistently like that. And I read that a little more resistance is actually better to the Freon for cooling. So these little tiny screws, these are the studs. I was able to knock one of them out. Anyway, the little screws come with the plugs, the, you know, the rubber grommet on the end of it. I happen to have M8 by 1.25 times 40 millimeters. I happen to have those because I needed those for my drive shaft on the Volvo. So I just happened to have not returned them, thankfully, and I had them here, and they're actually long enough to run instead of studs. I would imagine most people don't have those on hand, but I would recommend getting them because that worked like a charm. I need to clean up that old die, make sure, and then I'll do my vacuum pull tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna plan on, you know, if I'm gonna spend the 40 bucks on the damn refrigerant anyway, I'm putting in the new, I ordered a new condenser. So those were the last two things I had already done. I did the dryer, I did all the O-rings and gaskets, I did the compressor down there, water pump too if you're interested. So the last two things, if I had a leak still, I was doing it in parts. So since I still lost the coolant and lost cooling in the front first, then the back on these, I decided to do the evaporator next, and then I'll do the condenser as well. So I'll do that tomorrow. There's my heater hoses capped off. Fine with that, whatever. It'd be nice to have heat, but realistically, that's just for a road trip somewhere, you know, North Carolina, Tennessee, something like that. You don't need it other than that. Not in South Florida. So this was me cleaning up. You know, I used the little angle, the little grinder to clean up the plastic edges, and then AC aluminum tape to the rescue. So I wiped it down with some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just to get the residue of the oils and stuff out of there from the Freon or the refrigerant, and I'm just rebuilding the box basically with some of this. I'm not going to close it all up until I vacuum the system, run the AC, and then I'll feel for air leaking and kind of plug it up. But I was upset, and now I'm not. This is fine. You know, this is just, I thought the tray at the bottom gathered the water for the condensation, but it doesn't. There's no drain from that, oddly enough. Or at least I hope not. I might have to double check that, but I didn't see anything at the front of it. Oh, it sure as heck does gather it. There's the drain right there. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so I am gonna have to make some sort of a waterproof bottom piece to this so that when the water drips into it, it will be able to drip out. Note where I cut. First cut, second cut, right? The real cut you should do is right here, all the way to the right. right here. Make your cut here, all the way to the right, and on this side, wherever the heck you want it, right? And then you would think, if you have the other type of evaporator that just has the two nipples sticking out of the front, I have nipples, Greg, can you milk me? Then you can cut just that panel, slide it back. If you have the big headed one like mine is a big headed one, take note, you will need to cut the channel in the bottom. And I really wish I had known that, because I would have cut a beautiful piece that would have been perfect to capture all of the water, rather than now I have to risk there being silicone, and I just need to make sure that that water doesn't run back into the cabin. So I'm gonna have to make some sort of waterproof thing. That's gonna be difficult, actually. That sucks. So anyway, if you know what you're doing and you can cut it, then you just have two seams, you can silicone a little bit, you'll be good to go. I'm gonna have to get creative on how I can keep the moisture from falling back into the car. That's it.